models like a TI, which is fine, but in class I will show you how to use this, which is very convenient and very efficient and very precise. Okay, if you wanna calculate the rate of return or the length of the payback period or future value of your deposit, okay, you need the function. You need some function of like a future value, present value, or payment, or interest rate, or period. Okay, so I'll let you guys to compare the price on your own. Okay, I'll compare the price. But I have another class. They now found the price for group purchase is $790. This is from another class, but you can search on your own. Okay, if you need the information from the other class, I can let you know. So now the price they found is $790. You can probably purchase with that group. Okay, so Qiao Yu, please. Okay, through line group to ask everybody's demand. Okay, but in the class I will use it. You can also use BA2 Plus, TI BA2 Plus. Okay, which is more common in the United States or in our college of commerce. They are using this too. But for this one, it's cheaper. This is very good price. So maybe $1. So this is all on your own purchase, not my business. Okay. So you can also use HP, but they need to, no matter which kind, they need to have these functions. Okay, so Qiao Yu will ask you how you wanna take further, if you wanna do it purchase or not. So I will give you other information of the other class. Okay, you can also search. Everyone is welcome to search for market price.
Just a quick question.
Yeah, I'm sorry?
Is there a difference? I'm just having a quick question about the calculator. Is there a difference between BA2 Plus and BA2 Plus Professional? Or is that the same?
You have BA2 Plus?
Yeah, I have a BA2 Plus Professional. I used it for the CFA exam.
Then you don't need to purchase. Then I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how to use it? The financial function?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while, but
okay, good,
I can just
then
pay attention in class.
Yeah, you don't need to purchase. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can also, if you have any problem, if you have any question, I can also show you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because I also know when I was in US, I was using BA2 Plus. All right. So, any other questions? Let's look at this article. Half-life. This is also interesting. So we talk about inflation. So today is all about inflation. Half-life of currency. Half-life is like chemical, right? From the chemistry. So gold, why gold is so expensive? The half-life is maybe forever. Okay, but for some metal, okay, you see the rust very quickly, get rusty. Okay, and there's some function, some elements function they reduce to a half, so they call it half-life. What it is about has to do with inflation. So when we try to measure the inflation, we always use the percentage. Okay, the inflation, say 5%, as I said, in US is 5%. Okay, for say Indonesia, say 10%. All right, but for how long generate 5% or 10%? Maybe it's a week. Generate 10% of the price increase. Maybe for a whole year, generate 5%. So the how can you use the same benchmark for comparison? So there is an article. They found out, hey, let's use this. This is the half-life to compare how the currency's value is cut into a half. For example, if you want to buy this mug, it's 100 Taiwan dollars. Today, this morning, okay, and until the evening, it became 200 Taiwan dollars. So that means the half-life of the currency is from the morning 8 o'clock to the evening 8 o'clock. The half-life is 12 hours. 12 hours. Okay, so we just measure the half-life of the length of the time for comparison of how bad the inflation was for historical event. So this is the article is all about. Okay, so the interesting part, as I told you, look at the figures in the bottom. Okay, let's enlarge this one. Let's zoom this one. More. Okay. Okay. You see it? Can you see it? It's probably too bright. Different? You want it dark or light on?
Dark.
Dark? Is it better? Dark? Dark? This is dark. You want it? Or no difference? No difference? No difference. No difference, then we'll do this. Otherwise, I'll put you in sleep. Okay, so this is the interesting part. You on the in quarantine, yeah. You also have the file, right? So look at this. This is stage. Okay. Okay, this is a hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is super the super, like a hypermarket. Super. Okay, so for the Hungary it was 46, which was half a day, as I said, half a day, 12 hours. The price cut into the currency cut into a half, or the price doubled. Okay, when was it? Hungary. It was after World War II, right? World War II. Maybe I assume that that Hungary's factory was ruined by the war, most of the factory, because there was no supply, right? So the inflation, because it's the end, right? It's, the war was finished. Then it was Zimbabwe, 2008. That was just over 10 years ago, 13 years ago. Zimbabwe. Who was the president? Who was the president of Zimbabwe? Zimbabwe. Mugabe, you know. He was in the presidency for, I think, over 20 years or 30 years. Right? And then now I think his family also got some allowance. There was the deal to force him to step down. His family still got some huge amount of allowance. Germany, 1923. So that was what time? World War I. Right? It was World War I, actually. Right? So caused Germany to have the hyperinflation. They cannot afford the debt signed by the treaty. What's the treaty? What's the treaty? Of the huge debt. The sun. Right? Parasite, is it correct? Mm-hmm. Right? The sun. And then created one figure in history. Hitler. Right? So Hitler was born. Not born in this year, but born because of World War I. And then of course caused the World War II. Then, so that was how long? 4.5. Okay. France. That was too long ago. 200 years ago. 1792? Was it the revolution? Was it like a
Sounds about Bonaparte time, so yeah.
revolution? French Revolution? Right, you know, see, it's also kind of war. Right, so SOE concluded the war. See, war. And this is a political turmoil. What's this? Republic of China. What is this? Anyone outside of Taiwan understand? Cooper, I think I'll get you answer this question. It was in China, not Taiwan.
Yeah.
You know, it was in China because of after the war against Japan, and then to to the communists. The KMT, I think all I can say they did a lousy job in controlling the economy or the inflation. There was KMTs in China. Okay, so they got the Civil War. They got defeated by the communists, and then defeated, retreated to Taiwan, which was 49年是民国来台湾，38年是1949年，740， so 1949 to Taiwan came. So that was before to Taiwan in China. Okay, and of course in Taiwan we also had a huge inflation. So because there was no enough supply, no enough manufacturing. Okay, if you just keep printing money, it of course cause the inflation. So at that time, the Taiwan dollar, they had to abandon the old Taiwan dollar, then issue a new Taiwan dollar. So now what we are using is called New Taiwan Dollar, NTD. It's because they abandoned the old Taiwan dollar due to the hyperinflation. So I think if we add Taiwan's inflation, maybe we can find somewhere interesting. Venezuela, this is the most current. And they're still going on. Still happening. Venezuela. This is a very bad situation. It's been 3 years. Okay, so maybe next month we will introduce another indicator. We will also bring up Venezuela again. USSR 1924, which is, anyone knows? Which is also the war? World War What?
So that's like a little after the Bolshevik Revolution.
Revolution?
Yeah, I think that's like.
Yes, revolution. How about this? This is 23. This is, are these two related?
I don't really think
How about, maybe we can check when you go, yeah, I thought, this is why I think it's so interesting. If you are interested in this historical events, go back to check, to Google, what happened to this country at that time. Was it the revolution? Because it was also World War I. Anyone found it? Argentina, 89. What was it? They had a war with Britain.
Yeah, that was in 82 though.
Was it?
Yeah.
82? Falkland? I don't know how to pronounce it. Falkland Island? So Falkland was in 82? The war? So maybe after the war they got another political turmoil. Czar, was it?
For the USSR, it was after World War I, and then combined with like several
Okay. Okay. So after World War One, right? So after war, it could happen, change a lot of system, the political stability. Even though you are you won the war, you lost in the war. So. Oh, Austria. Yeah. Austria. Hey, I let you speak. Sheila, are you here?
Yes,
Sheila, are
I
you with us?
Pardon, what?
Sheila, are you with us?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what happened to Austria back in 22? Oh, there's also World War One. Same. See, 22, 23, 24.
What year is on it? I can see it really
This is
barely.
22, 1922.
1922. I think the Weimar, it was 1922.
1922, yes.
Isn't that in connection with Germany? With the
Yes, the war.
Weimarer Republik? I don't know how to say it in English. Yeah, it's basically just hyperinflation from the war.
Yes. Together with Germany.
Yes.
22, yes. And the Zari was, they had the virus, Ebola, right? Plus maybe political turmoil or something. So, well, this is one interesting article to show us the comparative hyperinflation rate. Okay. So let me introduce the inflation, how to measure the inflation. Okay, we know what the elements in there, but how to measure. Okay, so be careful not to get confused by nominal rate and oh, we have another article, right? For the next time, can we? Then since we are looking at the screen, so we talk about the Evergrande. Look at the GDP, the grossly deceptive trend. These are. Okay. So at that time, I just copied the magazine. I didn't look at it online. We talk about the GDP target. Lower, little bit. Sorry. Here. Yeah. Okay. No. No. Lower. Yeah. Growth target. So, this is the reason why it's led the local government or the province to make some deceptive, to report deceptive results. Because the central government, they want a growth target, say 8% to 9%, 保8, 保9. Okay? So, this coming year, we want to have a 9% of the growth. Okay, we expect to have the growth. So, every province, you need to turn in your performance to central government. Okay? So for Shanghai City, this is pretty easy. 12% easy. Okay? Shenzhen or Guangdong province, 50%, 15%. Okay? Good. Then you got promoted, as I said. Here, they found this article. They found a even if you have a higher economic performance, you get higher promotion, right? But if you just focus on the environmental protection, no promotion, you get retired. Okay, but for like a poor province, say Liaoning province, they have no output, maybe just 5%. If I just turn in a 5% growth, as compared to Guangdong, 北上广深, Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, as compared to them, I have no chance for promotion. So what I want to do is what? I do some deception figure. I turn in some deception figure. So a lot of local governments, they try to please the central government. They turn in the deceptive figure. This is one effect under the growth target. Twisted figure. Okay, they force the figure. One. Second, the second phenomenon is they tend to inflate the performance through all kind of the, not the force, but to inflate the figure through all kind of the investment. All kind of investment, without considering the side effects. For example, chemical plants. Okay, chemical plants, they had a lot of the pollution. Or power plant, coal, burning coal, 燃煤. I don't care. Pollution is not my concern. The central government didn't count pollution. They just count the output performance. So chemical plants coming, power plants coming, whatever. Leave those pollutions behind. Either no matter water pollution or air pollution. I just want to come up with the GDP figure. Or real estate. Hey, real estate is under my control. I'm the mayor. I have this piece of the land for development. Do you want this? Anyone want this? Okay. If you want this, okay, you have to cooperate with me. Give me some on the table. Back. First. Second, you need to develop it in 2 years. Because after 2 years, I need to have the performance for promotion. So you will see, you heard a lot of the empty houses, vacant houses, or even ghost town phenomena in China, which is it, all under the growth target. Because they don't need a vote. So as we discussed last week, this is a totally different political system from us. Okay, this is the only KPI for them to promote officials. So what I need to do is they do whatever they can to turn into beautiful, pretty numbers of the economic growth. Okay? I think I finished all the article. I'll let you guys to read it over again. Okay? Any further opinion? If not, then let's keep all of this. So let's turn off the computer. Let me talk about more about this inflation. I was going to show you the inflation and the gold price because this is so interesting. 好，那你一边找 gold price Google。你早上关掉了吗？关掉了。Did you turn it off? Now? 你 turn off now? Okay. I think this is more interesting. Let me see. Sorry, because I already told you to find the gold price. Google or use Yahoo. So let's relate inflation to the gold price because next week we talk about the differences between real estate, gold, and the stock. 好吗？叫 gold 没有不是，叫 Google 就是 gold price， 就是雅虎里面找关键字 gold price。Or let me do it. Otherwise, I have the. 再等一下。
对。
我现在看不到。你过来。这个你讲的。你在找 gold price 是吗？OK， 你这个。对。OK， 那这个是够的，而且这是白鱼。然后那这个。把它放大，用这个放大。
这个。
就荧幕放大，你会放大。那不然就要我的。那是不是有过去20年？ I also prepared for this, but I need to. What? Can you enlarge it? I just want to look at this. This is for past 20 years.
That's just one day.
Just one day, and you find
Yeah, 最下面有一
20 years. Yes. Okay. Enlarge it. 我要放这里. So this is so interesting. If we relate to good. Good. Any comments on this? Any comments on the gold price? How it relate to what we are talking about today? Inflation. Yes. Remember, as I said, the deflation, world deflation, started from 1997 to 2002. So in between here, this is very, very deflation. And then after 2002, the price of the gold started to cut. All right? Due to the gradual inflation. Okay. So remember, the gold price. The gold has no current revenue, no current income, like the rent for real estate or the dividend for stock. So it's only count for the inflation trend. Okay? Or how much money you print. So here, there was a 2008 subprime crisis, and then what caused this price to surge again? This is QE1. So between 2009 to here, 13. Here, it was QE1, QE2, QE3. Because when their QE2 was finished, people assumed that there will not be any more QE. But then they launched, the Fed launched another QE, which is QE. 3. So after QE3, they decided no more. So the stock price returned a little bit from 18, the peak of the 18,000 US dollar per ounce to here 12, I think. Yes, it's 12. So the lowest or the stable level for the past several years was 12,000. And then after the COVID-19, so I think the 20, especially after the 2020, because COVID-19 it was the end, and then the QE infinity. QE infinity was 2020, the March. So it's reached another peak, almost to 2000. Okay, so this is gold price versus the inflation. So now we really want to turn it off because we have only one subject to address. So QE infinity or maybe I'll do this QE infinity. Oh, okay, let's finish. Let's finish this. So remind me next time QE infinity and the what caused the world inflation between that term, between 90 to 2002. Okay, let's do this. Be sure. This is one nominal rate equals one plus real rate times one plus. So this is the original form, original equation. So this is nominal rate. This is a real rate. This is inflation. Real rate means the return that gives you real, or the return of the dividend or the interest gives you the real feedback, like the food or purchasing power, real purchasing power. Okay, so we expand it, then we can find one. So this is usually very small. So we delete. So we omit it. So we can find the simplified, which is nominal rate equals real rate plus inflation. Okay? But let me give you an example, so you won't always just look at the simplified form. So be careful about the hyperinflation, as we said. So for that article, we look at Venezuela. It says it's 1 million. It's 1 million% of the inflation. How can you compare with 1 million? So they just use half-life of the curves. So say the expected nominal rate is 120, and the inflation is 100%. Then what is the expected real rate? Give you multiple choice. 20%, 15%, 10%, 5%. Seems pretty easy, right? How about Carol? Carol is yes. The answer is 20%. Usually people choose 20% because 120 subtract 100, right? But look at the form. Look at the equation, which is, we said if usually small because the num is percentage times percentage, y is percentage small. But there is a 100%. We don't wanna use it. We wanna use the original form. Be careful. This is 120%. This is one. This is no. This is 100%. So this is 1 plus 1.2. Times 1 plus 4. So this is 2.2. This is 2. So this should be 1.1. Alright, so real rate should be 10%. Not this one. That's this one. Sorry. This is my trick. I use multiple choice to mislead you. So, but be careful in the future as you see a hyperinflation, you wanna use the original form. Okay, to avoid the error that should not be ignored. All right. So I will also give you some other articles for reading assignment. All right, and then gradually we will go to the financial calculation using calculator, and then some budget or capital budgeting or real estate analysis and stock investment analysis. Plus, we will also give you a financial feasibility analysis for a hotel development and a theme park development. So that will be after the midterm. We don't have the midterm exam. I mean, after the mid of the schedule. Okay. So this week we will have this weekend we will have a long weekend. All right. So, but the next Tuesday we still have class. So I will give you some reading assignment. Okay. Yeah, we dismissed. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye bye. Yes. Bye bye.
Bye.